can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And do it. To YouTube. Okay.
Okay, so it's giving me a hard time exporting to YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, so I think we'll just do it later. So it's very minimal. Now you know what?
What?
Are we on YouTube?
I don't know.
We might be on YouTube.
Are we? That's unfortunate. No, we're not.
Hello, YouTube. Great to see you. Oh, maybe we are though.
Are we?
It looks like we are. Hey, there's us.
Oh!
We're on YouTube
yeah, we're on
already.
YouTube. Okay.
We already were on
Great.
YouTube,
Look at
guys,
us.
the whole fucking time.
The whole.
Wow. Okay, no, that's great.
That is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just not see the YouTube, but we'll
Perfect.
see the Twitch chat.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
I have no idea. Ah, we did it.
Great.
Okay, great.
So seriously, this time
Okay.
we're
So,
really ready to go.
here we are.
So thank you guys. This is episode 1 of the podcast. A.D.H. Squirrel. This is my lovely wife, Mrs. Zwar.
Well, okay. Let's really introduce ourselves, I suppose, if this is going to be for people. I'm gonna tell my real name. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm gonna introduce myself as Amanda Di Domenic Antonio Redman,
We already were on YouTube, guys. The whole
and then my handsome husband over here, Andrew Redman. That's you. And
Tell people my name. You're crazy.
oh, you know what? I did it. It's too late now. So we we really wanted to start this this podcast up and kind of make it a little bit about us in a way, but mostly we want to reach out to some of you other folks that may have the same lifestyles or have the same challenges that we do, because both of us were diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and we both are married to each other, and I realized that there's nobody talking about that. Two people together in a relationship, both having the same struggle. It's been a challenge. It's been interesting, and we didn't even realize we had it until fairly recently. And so we've just we've been learning about each other, and we've been learning about ourselves and kind of melding that together, I think. And you say that's what's been happening?
Yeah, well, you found out first
I did.
that you had it.
I did find out first. Something I suspected for a long time. But before I get into that story, I just want to I don't know what you'd call it, not a shout out, but I did have a friend pass away a few days ago. And I would have loved to be at her services tonight. It's in New York, though, and we reside in Tennessee, and it's kind of hard to be in two places at once. But she meant a lot to me, and I wish I could have been there, but I would like to kind of memorialize her in my own way, especially since this might be around for a while. Hopefully this video will be viewed a little bit.
Please do. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, but her name is Mary Greshak, and she was one of my good friends in high school, and one of my good friends that I reconnected with recently. And yeah, she suddenly is not here anymore with us. So it's sad, and we're going to miss her greatly, and she is somebody who lit up any room that she was in. She was an amazing, talented artist, just a bright light in this world, and very unfortunate when we lose one of those lights, because us lights have to stick together, you know what I mean? And just want to say, check on your friends, because sometimes it's the people that smile the brightest and work the hardest to make others happy that are struggling the most. So people forget to check in on the people that seem happy, and so just don't take any days for granted, and we'll miss you, Mary, and we love you. So yeah, thanks for letting me do that.
Of course. Thanks for doing the show with me. I'm excited to do some stuff with Mrs. Zwar on stream.
Yeah.
You know, I think like we played a game or something once, but we haven't really done much. So
No, this is big for me. I don't, you know what? I don't normally like showing my face. You know that. I don't. I'm not a very public person, and this is different for me. I mean, I am a public person. We play music on stage. I've been in front of lots of people. You know, I work with the public every day, but I'm not one who usually puts myself on videos in front of people. So that should tell you.
Right?
It's weird. It's weird, but also
you have to be crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I married you, so
Wow.
Yeah, vice versa, right? Takes one to know.
Is that what this podcast is about?
Yes, actually, this is an intervention.
Okay.
But that being said, I would like to do this podcast. And it's very important to me, because I think that sometimes this is a condition that just kind of gets brushed off, and people think that maybe you're making it up, and it's not taken seriously.
Sin.
And I think it's something that's really affected my life. It affected your life individually, but put together, you know, it's kind of affected our whole relationship.
What are we talking about?
A.D.H. Squirrel.
Oh, I saw Sinflux and I totally forgot. That was not a joke. I'm not fucking joking either.
He's not joking.
I'm really not.
He's not. So yeah. So I this is something that I would like to do, to just reach out to everybody, because I think there's a lot of us out there, and I think that when I have seen other people talk about what it's like to live with neurodivergence, it makes me feel less alone, and that's our goal. That's a goal of this. This is what this is about. We just want to connect with people and share some of the things that we've been through, because we've been through some shit.
It looks like you're taller than me.
Does it? This is the first time that I'll ever be taller than you, so I'm just gonna enjoy this right here. So yeah. So I do have a list, because Squirrel, and we're just gonna go over some points, and right this week we're just going to kind of, you know, touch on basic things, and hopefully next week we'll have a better outline of what we need to get into deeperly, and go from there. But you don't even know what this list says.
I don't know what the fuck she's doing, dude. She came out here and said my real name, and I was like, you could probably watch and see that I'm like a little like, fucking what?
He's quiet.
Like,
this is the first time Zwar's been quiet. It's our real names, but you know, obviously this is Zwar and Mrs. Zwar in the Twitch world here. So, but Zwar is normally a talker, and he's being a little bit quiet right now. It's scaring me. But
I'm just letting you talk. I talk all the time.
You do talk all the time. So I guess I'm just gonna start and get into this list, and we'll go from there. I'm sure we're gonna get off on tangents, because that's what we do. And we're aiming to be on here for about an hour, but you know, we'll see what happens, because you know, ADHD. So I think we already covered who are we. That's, you know, in the mission of the podcast. And
hang on.
Yeah, I'm hanging.
If you guys, you know, have like experiences like this too, like feel free to, you know, chime in, and if y'all have questions, like, you know, similar stories, anecdotes, like, you know, I think it'll be cool to have this podcast be kind of interactive and public, you know, because most podcasts really aren't.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
You know, I think most people kind of do it in a vacuum. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll try to stay on track, and I'm glad she has a list. But like, having said that, we do want to hear from you guys and stuff, you know. So like, let us know what, you know, your experiences are like,
us
and let's
chanting at you.
Yeah, because like, you know, I kind of got on Twitch to just like figure things out together, and
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, so okay, here we are. So we're gonna roll into, when did we get diagnosed? Why did we get diagnosed, or how did that come about, I guess. So do you want to go first? I think I should go first, just because it was me that kind of like.
I think you should.
Okay,
you started.
So yeah, all right. So I only got diagnosed 3 years ago. No, almost 4 years ago now.
It was when we moved here.
Yeah, almost 4 years ago. And so, I lived 36 years not knowing, or kind of speculating that I had something going on, but not knowing what it was. And I guess I started just watching videos on YouTube, and you see other people talking about stuff, and it starts to click, and you're like, oh yeah, I do those things. And kind of gets in your head like, oh, maybe that's why I act the way I act, and maybe that's why I do the little crazy things that I do. And so if you read enough things about that and you watch enough videos, you start to kind of self-diagnose, because Dr. Google can tell you anything that you need to know these days. But you were diagnosed about 15 years ago. That's great. So you know what it's like. But yeah, so I can't even call it like an official diagnosis. It was basically me going to my therapist and saying, hey, I think that this might be the thing that's like holding me back from doing every other thing. What do you think?
Is that Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan. Oh. So Ryan was a game changer in this, because I feel like I know that if you go to a regular doctor or general practitioner, and you tell them the same things that I told Ryan, somebody who has a mental health degree and all that, the general practitioner just looks at you like you're crazy and just thinks you're trying to get drugs. So, and that's unfortunate, because I'm not somebody who is even into taking drugs, and like I'm pretty straight edge as it is a definition. So it's really unfortunate that the general population of doctors just kind of brushes it off, and that you have to kind of seek a certain person with a certain degree, potentially maybe help you. And I think that's what I went through for a long time. Yeah, go Ryan, exactly. Hell yeah. So
hey Fox, how you doing?
Hi. So I asked him what he thought, and he said, yeah, actually I really think that might be an issue. So he suggested that I go to Philip, who we also love, and see what he thought. And Philip had me take a little test, and turns out like basically aced that test, on the ADHD scale. So but there's different types. There are different types of ADHD, as they found out. And so attention deficit hyperactivity is one of them, but I am inattentive type, so I'm not hyperactive.
So you're not ADHD.
I am. It's a subcategory.
What's the difference in ADHD and ADD? Do you know that?
ADD is just the old term for it. That's the 80s term.
That's just the old term. We just added a letter.
We like letters these days, so we just
ADD
put an extra one in there.
People were getting Ritalin.
Yeah, Ritalin, exactly. Back in the day when they just wanted to shut kids up.
So why did
second grade? And
okay,
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't know. I got distracted. What were we talking about?
So there's different types. So inattentive type is what I was diagnosed with, because I think it's good to explain the difference, because a lot of women don't get diagnosed very easily because we don't show the same signs as a lot of men, and that's like the hyperactivity that you're thinking about, like right now while you're on your phone while we're doing a podcast. The hyperactivity.
I'm in chat. I'm in chat. I'm in chat. Look.
So little boys, normally when they're have ADHD, they're all the hyper, teachers, see them as like the class clowns, and they're always getting in trouble. But the little girls are the ones that kind of turn inwards and start having anxiety and depression and all those mental struggles. And so that's the inattentive type, when we just have problems paying attention because we're in our own world.
Is that how it works?
Mostly, riddled with anxiety, and because our brain's going a million miles an hour, but we don't know why. And so that was
you just
like
shut down.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's kind of how I would. Those are the issues I was having for most of my life. I was just having that brain chatter. It just goes and it goes and it goes. No stopping it, and you think you're crazy. And I would have a lot of issues with even, you know, they call it executive dysfunction. I'm sure you've heard of that, but basically it's just the functioning at a daily level, just being able to actually do basic things. Sometimes your brain just is like, how would you even describe it? Your brain just goes a million miles an hour about nothing in particular, but everything all at once. And so I would struggle with just getting a mental list of tasks to do for the day and then not being able to actually do any of them because I was so in my head about how to do them and how to execute that perfectly so that I could do things perfectly. Because that's another part of having ADHD is like you feel like you have to be perfect.
Right, yeah. Like, I won't even do some shit if I have to half-ass do it.
Yeah, if you don't think you can do it.
That's why my bathroom is in the state that it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like I have to super clean it or just
not at all.
Clean it,
yeah, I know. So yeah, that's how I felt for most of my life. And so being...
Wait, sorry. Can I... Like, you said something that interested me and I want to talk about for a second.
All right, go for it.
Like, you said that like in girls, it's like inattentive and you just go inward kind of, and then dudes are like, blah, blah, I'm fucking crazy, and that's how they're like, you need Ritalin. So, like, I think when I was a kid, like I would act up first, you know, because it's interesting to know these things and then go back and think about shit, and it's like a light bulb moment. And I just had one of those kind of, where it's like when I was first a kid, I would act up and I'd be like class clown and shit, and I'd, you know, show off and show out in class and like make jokes and be loud and shit. Yeah. And then I'd get in trouble all the time because my mom was a fucking teacher. So all the other teachers would just pass my mom in the hallway and be like, your son did this, like, and it'd be like, yeah, and it fucking sucked. Like, and at one point my mom actually, and it wasn't until like 7th grade, so it was like too late really, but like I was about to go to the next school. But anyway, she told the teacher, like, if you wouldn't, you know, call home about this, don't tell me about it. You know, because that was the difference. Like, other kids, like, they do shit too, but like those teachers wouldn't just be seeing their parents all the time. So then, like, I also realized, like, I had a loud voice and I couldn't, like, I had a deep voice, so I couldn't say shit without getting heard or like like some kids could like whisper and shit.
Not you.
I couldn't fucking whisper apparently. And so I would just always be in trouble every goddamn day. And I just got so tired of it that I just shut the fuck up eventually.
Sure.
And just quit talking to anybody, kind of. And I think then I had more like the female component of it, you know?
Sure.
Because I didn't get in trouble and I always did well in school because, I mean, it was easy and, you know, all the other shit.
No, it's very possible to have both. And, you know, essentially both do exist, I think, in the brain, but it's just one kind of overtakes the other, and it's just the case that more like the way the female brain works, we're just not as outgoing with the struggles. The struggles. There's a lot of kids war stories.
Well, it's just masculine.
Stay tuned.
Like, that is the very definition of masculine and feminine too. One is inward and one is more outward. So like fucking, you know, there you go.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, that's
I could not whisper beast mode. Chris, I'm glad you got out of that outpatient thing and got to validate the, you know, diagnoses too. I'm kind of I was talking to my doctor about wanting to validate some things today, so I get that, you know, I get that desire, and hopefully that was a good experience for you going forward. I did an outpatient thing one time and it was helpful. It really was. So much love. Thank you guys for being here, and thanks for talking about this stuff with us. I know these are like different issues, and I know we have just game and, you know, shart and fuck around a lot, so that's why it's kind of cool to have this space to you know, get more in depth and you know, do more serious work, because you know, healing is a process and it's not easy, and it's good to have a support system in that too. So
absolutely, and that's why we're here, and we want to share these stories, anecdotes with you, because you're not alone, you know. And it's really easy to think that you're alone when you are struggling with something like neurodivergence, because your brain tends to trick you into thinking that you're just crazy. And so
you have to hydrate.
What are the rules?
The chat demands it. Mrs. Zwar's getting a taste of the stream life.
Chug it.
Wow, she like outdid me on the drinking the water, I guess. Okay.
Mic drop.
No, this is the mic to drop. This thing's indestructible.
Don't drop it. Be nice to the mic. Oh my god. So yes, so what were we talking about?
I don't know. You got a list.
Yeah. So anyway, we're here to just, share, like I said, what we've been through, just so you guys know, like you're not alone. Anyway, so
You were talking about your diagnosis.
yeah, okay, so then once I knew that I had it, and I started taking Adderall, which is another thing that it's hard. It was hard for me to tell people that I started taking Adderall because it gets judged very easily, and it is so different to take Adderall when you have ADHD than when you don't have it, and that is something that I had to learn and read about to educate other people about, because family members are like, Adderall, that's this crazy party drug you kids are taking these
Right,
days.
yeah, they take it at like raves and stuff. I didn't understand when you started taking it. I was like, what is it? What does it do?
Yeah,
How is
even
it?
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you were a little judgy about it, but the truth is,
Maybe I was jealous because I thought you were like high all the time.
maybe. And I wish. But the way it works is people with ADHD and neurodivergence, your brain is wired differently. And so Adderall makes me sleepy. Adderall just kind of calms my brain so it doesn't have that locomotive engine going 24 hours, and I can actually think, and there's some silence, and I can just have one voice in my head. And that is what it does for me. Whereas I guess people that don't have the ADHD issue, it's like a, stimulant. It's like a woo drug. But I've never felt that. And so I had actually one of the indicators and one of the, I guess, reasons that I thought maybe I had ADHD was because somebody had given me Adderall way back when I had to take a really long drive so that I could stay awake. And so when I took it, ended up calling that person like, why did you give me this? Like, I had to pull over and take a nap for an hour because I was so tired. Like, why would you give me this drug? And so it just didn't make sense. And then I was reading about how it affects people differently when you actually have ADHD. And so that's how I kind of knew. But, every drug kind of affects me differently because my brain is different. So that being said, once I started taking the medicine and could think clearly, and it changed my life. It really did. I have to say that my therapist saved my life, because at the point that I was going to him, like, I was so done mentally with dealing with life, like it's tiring.
Then you felt a lot better physically, but you
true.
were way more unhappy.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big, like, I noticed a big change in her like mood and just being around her.
yeah.
And we started getting along a lot better and stuff after she did, get medication. I'm not out here saying like, oh, don't go take drugs, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't be ashamed of it, or, if there's any stigma around it, maybe we can push past some of that, because it has definitely helped her a lot, and it's
my life.
helping me too. I mean, it's
absolutely 100% turned my whole brain around. Some examples are, I could not read a book at the point where I got diagnosed. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I could not focus enough to actually read a book. I would read and not even know what I just read.
Oh yeah, I remember you getting super sad about it.
Yeah, because I loved reading when I was a kid. I loved reading when I was younger, but my ADHD had flared up so bad and gotten to the point where I just could not concentrate, and so I couldn't read. I mean, I would have to read the same sentence like 5 times and still couldn't take it in. And
Gage.
so the medication absolutely changed that. Just silly little things like before taking the medication, my handwriting was atrocious. And the fact that I can read my handwriting now and it actually is legible, this is my brain working.
Did you multitask more before you got diagnosed and medicated?
I don't know if more, but I can multitask better now.
Can you?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to do it less.
Can you multitask less?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lily, how are you, Lily?
Hey, Lily.
Good to see you.
So So it's made things a lot easier. So that being said, once I started realizing my symptoms and how much they were being helped by all this, I started to realize, oh wait, my husband does these weird things.
Yeah, so after Mrs. Z got diagnosed, and started feeling better and making improvements and stuff, Chubby, then
What's up, nerds?
she and you guys told me, that I had it.
Well, I didn't tell you. I said, hey. I think maybe you might want to look into this, because honestly, once I saw how I was acting, I realized that you had it like a lot worse.
Right? Huh? What?
Yeah, exactly. It was very obvious after that. And so, so then, we went to the same doctor and told him that.
Yeah, well, no, not exactly, though.
What happened?
Because, no, that's not how it happened. First, we went, I went somewhere else.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Well, no, I went to the same place as you, and I saw that lady that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Who was crazy and fucked up. And I don't know why she was a goddamn doctor, a physician, like a psychiatrist. Her job was to write medication. Yeah. She would not write medication, dude. She was trying to get me to like take valerian root and shit. Yeah. And I'm like, lady, I know about fucking holistic shit. I've been doing hardcore yoga and meditating for like 2 years before I before I met you.
But that's what I mean about the drug stigma. See, it's like so hard. It's so hard to.
Yeah. But so then after that, I talked to her for 3 months or something.
Yeah, it was a while.
I didn't know if I wanted to take medication anyway, because I used to have addiction problems. Like I've been to outpatient rehab, and I used to be. Y'all probably heard me talk on stream about how I used to have addiction with, pills, mostly with fucking like, pain pills and nerve pills at the same time. And that sucked. Also was like misdiagnosed at that point because people didn't, I would seeing a therapist earlier and got put on nerve pills. And and then I was also just drinking and, self-medicating basically.
Yeah. Like we do.
And I didn't know what I had, and I thought I might have anxiety or depression or all kinds of different shit, and so they put me on antidepressants and what else? I like Klonopin. Yeah, and then I had had injuries, and so I had what is it? Like Loratab.
Oh yeah.
Hydrocodone. So I had prescriptions for all that shit regularly. And then I was drinking and, smoking. So I was feeling good, and I didn't really want to quit feeling good at that point. I mean, I thought I was depressed for a while too. Pink dot.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Always feeling like you're depressed. Depression is a major symptom of ADHD because you don't know how to handle what's going on in your brain, and it's just like an overload. And so, yeah.
Stay on topic.
So
I was on, I was on all this shit. It didn't work. I totally quit taking any pills because I went to outpatient rehab. And after that, I was like, fuck this. I don't want to go through that again. So I would just smoke weed and, drink here and there, but, cut out the pills and shit, and mostly just self-medicate with weed. And then, so I'd been through a big sober thing too when I was doing yoga and meditation, and I was sober for 6 months for a while, and then a long time, long periods of time I'd be sober, and not drinking and eating healthy food and stuff during some of that, and so I was not necessarily just that eager to get back into taking medication regularly.
Yeah.
Rock guy. So I was kind of accepting of the more holistic, psychiatrist's approach for a little while, but I wasn't really happy. I wasn't really getting anywhere or making any progress. I feel like with my mental or emotional state or focus or being able to do things like I wanted to or understand things even. And so I switched doctors. We switched hospitals.
Yeah.
And we went to see a different lady, and she put me on Vyvanse, and that helped, but it was I had a baby dose, dude. I looked it up on the internet because I didn't know Vyvanse and I didn't know what the fuck it was or anything about it. pork. And so I looked it up, and they're like, yes, this is what they give children. And I was like, oh, well, no wonder it's not really. So I was like, it almost worked, but like not quite worked, I felt like.
Sort of, kind of.
And yeah, anyway, I think finally, like, she went with me to that appointment and talked to her, and she didn't really. She was a very young doctor too, starting out, and I think she was just nervous and uncomfortable because of the climate, you know, because of the abuse and
she didn't want to just
things that go on.
hand out the meds.
Yep. So like, she was kind of scared, and I didn't need that shit. So she got me, you know, an appointment with her doctor, and that's when we started making progress, I guess. What did it take, like 6 months? Did it take like something like that from the time that you guys, I think you guys started saying I had it back in, you know, like October or whatever. I can't remember. And then her too. And so it was like, 6 months of dealing with different doctors. And then I finally got with her doctor, and, you know, he seemed to be more confident and know what he was doing. And also, here's the other thing. He had that other lady's file, the first doctor I had. He's like, oh, so I see in her notes, she says you have ADHD. It's like, oh, but she didn't want to give me anything. Remember that?
Yeah, so she wrote it as a diagnosis.
Yeah.
And then she said,
Yeah. And then,
you'll be all right.
So that was funny. So he was actually like the third doctor to diagnose me with it, you know?
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, I'm pretty acceptant of having it.
I think they might be onto something.
They gave me antidepressants, and those tore me apart emotionally. Dude, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Some of them.
It was really rough. It was like the worst time in my life, probably. I almost died a few times. I went to jail a few times. It was rough, dude. And I'm sure that's the answer for some people, but if that's not the answer for you and you start taking that, it's not a good effect. No. So, I mean, I get why you are hesitant, Lily, because, the medication can be scary and stuff. And it was nice to find something that worked. But anyway, that's enough about drugs, dude. What else we got?
All right, nix the drug talk. All right. Woo.
This feels like a goddamn Pfizer commercial or something.
Dare to keep kids off drugs. All right, well, so we're going to go into what's the hardest part about having ADHD?
The hardest part.
What do you think? If you had to pick one thing.
Well, some people say it's a superpower.
We're going to get to that next, but first we're going to start with this, okay?
All right.
What do you think is the one, if you had to pick one thing that it does to make your life hard, what would it be?
Well, I think that you live inside your head a lot, and that's a scary place for anybody to be. And I think that, was harmful for me for like over 3 decades.
Oh, yeah.
And resulted in me being pretty unkind to myself and thinking things about myself that weren't accurate or helpful.
Absolutely.
What's your answer?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a strong point. Definitely a strong point, and I would agree with that one too. But I guess for me, man, before being medicated, the hardest thing for me was emotional regulation. There's a thing called emotional dysregulation. That's a symptom of ADHD.
I'm gonna agree with that.
Yeah. No, it was intense. I would feel things very intensely, and
I know we'd be having like a great night, and then it just like all of a sudden, like you remember when we went to House of Cards?
Yeah.
And we were just having like a great night, and then you were just having an awful night.
Yes.
And it's like just nothing happened to cause it. It just switched.
No, it was. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible, and that was a roller coaster every single day. But the worst part was the overreaction to things that did not need to be overreacted to. Like, I will be very vulnerable here and say that I went to get my hair trimmed one time. You remember this. And I asked the girl to take off just like the very ends, just a little bit. And she was new, and for whatever reason, it was a communication issue, and she took off like 2 inches. And it's hair. And you would think that any other person would be like, it'll grow back. I had a freaking meltdown, okay? I told her that she couldn't touch my hair anymore. I wanted to talk to the owner of the salon. I I left without paying her. I wrote on Google about this place. I called the owner and had her call me back, and then talked to her on the phone for like an hour. But that whole night, oh my god, like I called into work. Do you remember that? I called into work because I was so distraught about this, and it was to the point where I could not turn it off. Like, that was the struggle with the emotions, that you get that upset and there's no toning it down no matter what. You can't talk yourself off the ledge, you know. And it was always to the point of like feeling like so desperate and like almost suicidal, and that shouldn't happen over hair, you know. And like it's just those things would happen to me, where I'd have episodes where it was just a small thing and it would be the end of the world. And I'm telling you, like, taking medication and being able to think correctly has changed that 100%. And like that is such a freeing thing, because you like, again, you feel like you're crazy, and it is crazy to overreact like that. That's insane, but it's something you can't help, you know. And so for me, that was the worst part, just not being able to regulate those strong emotions and reactions that I would have sometimes over the smallest thing. So
that may be my worst part too, actually.
You can't take mine.
No, since we've been together.
You said yours.
Just that. Like, because I remember worse than that.
Me doing things?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh God,
you said that story, but I remember worse stories.
Oh, absolutely. No,
like,
I did some shit.
And like, you know.
Yeah.
Being scared.
Sure.
At times and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, legitimately scared of things.
Yeah.
And sorry for what you said. Oh, you're good. I don't know what you'd be sorry for.
Oh yeah. We're not really sure, but
you're all good. You're all good.
Pills. Oh no, don't be sorry about that. No, that's what I was saying earlier. That's like,
that's why we're doing this too. That's what we're just doing it to talk and stuff. And
sure.
I felt the same way. I was like, what's she? And I was like,
yeah.
Is she just happier because she's high all the time?
Yeah,
exactly. Like, I really didn't know.
And then you understood. Yeah.
I didn't know.
You had to have the experience yourself, and then when you started taking it, you realized, you know, it makes your brain work the way it's supposed to be working this whole time.
Like, I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be whatever, but like, I remember literally taking a knife out of your hand.
Oh God, yeah, no, I'm not. Like, I will never like. I will own up to all that.
Scary,
like,
fucking scary. Like, I had to physically take a knife away from her.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, and I'm not, you know, I will admit to all that, you know, open book as far as that goes, because
Ghosty.
it was bad. It was real bad at one point. That's what I mean. Like,
so it's much better now.
Struggles were real. So.
Much better since we have been diagnosed and medicated. I mean, fucking really.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, all right, that was sad. So let's get So anyway, that's done. So okay, what's the best part about having ADHD? What do you think? You were talking about superpower, like people call it a superpower.
The focus. So
what's the best? What do you think is the best?
If you can channel the hyper focus, you know, like you can kind of like, I mean, I'll get into a hobby or something and I'll learn so much about it within a week, and then I'm like bored of it, or you know, like, so you can kind of have experience with a lot of different things.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool part of it.
You do, though. You have this ability to hyper focus on one thing and get incredibly good at it. I mean, incredibly good. I mean, I remember you listening to these world-class guitar players and sitting there forever and learning the songs note by note, and then you just playing it exactly like they did. And it freaking blows my mind, like, that you can do that. It's incredible. But then as soon as you do that, like, the next week you're like, eh.
Yeah.
You don't even see
that's the fucking problem.
It's crazy.
Because I'll get like or it's like, I don't know if it gets boring, or then if stuff gets too hard at some point. It's like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
It's like at a certain point it just drops off. Like, I was playing all that Paul Gilbert
Yeah.
shit I was working on
It
and
was
stuff.
not easy.
And then I'm just like, whatever, and just like,
Yeah, but you got to that level of like being able to play like those guys, and it was kind of scary. You were like Beethoven for a second.
but I
there,
can't
and
do that now.
That's the point. Like when you get into that zone where you can actually just like your mind will do nothing but that, and it's like obsessive about that, then you can do anything.
Right.
You know, it's like it's literally like it is a superpower because you could be like, okay, I want to learn how to do brain surgery, so I'm
Well,
just
that's
gonna
how I
study
learned
this.
Streamer Bot too, because I knew nothing about programming,
Right.
and then I learned, like how to disappear myself and
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and
what
that
I
was
mean.
just like, because I just did it for like it was all at once, you know. I did like all the commands at once, and I haven't done shit with it in the past year with Streamer Bot. So I mean, yeah,
I've seen you do so many things like that where you just get incredibly good, like scary good, where like other people would spend their
I
whole
think it
life
gets
getting
boring
good.
at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after I've learned the
Mhm.
program and shit, and it's really not challenging anymore. It's
Yeah.
just repetitive and annoying at that point.
Yeah.
And that's how the guitar shit would get too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it would just get repetitive.
Yeah. That's but yeah, I mean, I would say that's definitely that definitely is your superpower with it, for sure. And I don't know. I was reading this thing that more because I can't do that. I mean, I don't have the patience for that. I don't have that hyper focused part.
Right.
Yeah, I really don't, and that's what's missing from mine. But I was reading about how people with ADHD, they are more prone to help people that in like a crisis situation because
Unless they get distracted by a squirrel.
yeah,
or
right. No,
something.
because somebody that's not neurodivergent will see somebody stuck on the side of the road and think about how it could be dangerous for them, or think about what the risk factors are, and so they're not willing to take like the risk that people with ADHD don't even think about. You know, like I could give so many examples, but I guess one of the most recent ones is seeing some girl just fly off the side of the road into a sign, and I didn't even think about it. My brain just went, okay, so I pulled off the side of the road and ran back to help her. But that wasn't the reaction of anybody else except for one other guy. You know, there was like hundreds of cars just flying by, and nobody else stopped to help this girl. So it's things like that. I am always very calm in a crisis situation and can get through anything like that. And not even think about it. And so apparently, supposedly, that is a thing with people with ADHD, because we don't think about it before we do things. We just want to help. So, I mean, I have saved people's lives in restaurants that I've worked in, because nobody else would run over and just do the simple CPR thing to stop them from choking. You know, it just, my brain just kicks into, okay, gotta help. I have to save this person. I don't even think about it, you know? So
She is very helpful.
yeah, it's, I mean, like, if you are in a situation that is a crisis, you want to have a friend with ADHD around, trust me.
Well, you're more selfless than I am too, though.
Well, I don't know about that. It's just
It manifests differently.
yeah, exactly. I'm more just go and do it, you know. You're more think about it.
Yeah.
Get to it later type of person.
I
so.
procrastinate. Yeah.
I mean, just a little, maybe. I used to a lot, and then I struggled so much with the outcome of that I don't anymore. I don't, because it's so, the consequences of procrastinating in my life became so bad that I was just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So that's why. Yes, he does. War does help a lot of people. I know, and he doesn't see that. He needs to see that.
Do my best.
you do your best.
Help a lot of people.
He said, moving on. Okay. Oh, you're gonna like this one. You ready for
Okay.
this?
Yeah.
Okay. What's one thing I do because of my ADHD that annoys you?
You answer first.
Oh no. That's
Yeah.
on you.
No, you answer
No,
first.
you go ahead.
I'm thinking, so you go first.
I don't.
It's hard for me to think. You don't annoy me anymore.
I know. You don't annoy me either. I think we understand each other a lot.
That's helped too. I mean, like honestly, I think we used to annoy each other more.
Yeah, because we didn't understand
And-
why the other person was doing this. I know. Oh boy, here we go. No, but really, I'll give some random examples though of things we both do that are kind of funny. So I'll come home and every single light in the house will be on. And then I have to guess which room you're in because I don't because the lights are on in all of them.
I want the
So I have
dogs
go
to be able to
from room
see.
to room to room to room to room. Even as far as like the bathroom on the other side of the house because you'll have been there at one point in the day and the lights still on. That's a funny thing. What else? Let's see. Both of us leave random water bottles all over the place with like this much left in them. And I don't know why we do that, but we do.
I thought of something.
Go on.
Wait, I forgot.
Nah, bro.
The dogs came. How'd the dogs get in here?
I don't know. They broke in.
The fuck did
They can
Snoopy
only go
open
so
the
long
door?
without us. I think I had it locked too.
Snoopy opened the door.
Yeah.
I think I heard it, but
He's
I
a
didn't.
mastermind.
It was locked?
Yeah.
Did I go out? I don't. Why are the fucking dogs in here?
In this time, they have forged a key.
What was I thinking? Oh,
Yeah.
sometimes like I just want to tell you something and it's stupid,
Yeah.
but you won't listen because you're doing some shit, and like you're like, no, I have to finish this, and I'm like, I was just gonna say like bark or like it's just the dumbest like thing. It's like
You can't interrupt me if I'm doing something.
yeah, when you're in your
Yeah,
focus,
no,
and
'cause
I
I
can't penetrate the force field.
Mm-mm. No, because I can't leave that moment.
And then I have to fucking wait because if I don't wait, I'll forget what it fucking was.
Yeah.
So I have to just sit there and wait on you to be done, and I'm just like, I'm just dying slowly. I hate waiting. Like if I'm just doing like, I like meditating and doing nothing, but like I can't meditate in the 30 seconds it takes you to finish what you're doing there.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a funny thing. There's lots of them, and I'm sure they will pop up randomly after asking that question. But there are a lot of funny things that we do that just like if somebody walked into our house, they'd be like, "What the?" Oh man. So yeah, we also have to always have fruit snacks in the house because we're children. There's other things like that. We act like children sometimes, and it is what it is.
Well, it's good to like be able to do that and be safe, because I just feel like safe around you, and I don't feel like I have to, like I did it at first. I'm sure like I wouldn't have behaved the way I do now around you at first.
Oh sure. Yeah, no.
Because it was like masking and not even really understanding what that was.
Yeah, no, you don't even realize you're doing it until you stop doing it. So
I think a lot of the stuff that we used to really do that annoyed each other, we've learned to get past a lot of that.
I
hopefully.
think so. Yeah, I think we're both pretty accepting of whatever weird thing the other one does at this point, because we know why they do it, and that helps. But the dogs have come in here, so that's why I'm petting random things down here. Hi, Kylo. So there's just a couple left, and then we'll wrap this up. But how has ADHD affected our relationship? I guess that could be a very vague question, really, but I think what I mean is like, what are some situations we've gotten into because of it that we didn't even realize were because of it? Can you like remember anything? Because we've had like like the things we were talking about earlier, just like my weird emotional outbursts, and it's affected us in that way.
Well, I mean, the fact that we were just both drinking to self-medicate, and so like when I think I was like generally pretty okay drinking on my own for the most part.
Sure.
But where you had the emotional dysregulation and you would drink, and it would go from having a good time drinking to being like, oh God, this is a bad night, and like where I was already fucking drunk, I can't respond to that good because I'm already fucked up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my emotional dysregulation is in full effect at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then both of us together is just a goddamn shitstorm. I mean, it was, when we were just like,
absolutely.
I mean, we'd have good nights and shit, but then we'd have like bad nights. So, I mean, that was a big effect that it had. Like, we had to really like each other to just get through, shit.
Oh yeah, we've we've definitely overcome a lot in this relationship.
Sixth string, how are you?
And we haven't given up on each other. But yeah, I'd say that's a big thing too. That definitely the being able to control our emotions. But the drinking, yeah, I mean, I stopped drinking about 4 years ago, and don't regret the decision because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely helped our relationship because I no longer have those emotional outbursts.
For sure.
Yeah.
Between the medication, evening that out, and the not drinking and stuff.
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think also, like now it's kind of a strength in a way because we both have it, and so it's like we can understand each other.
Absolutely.
Better.
Yeah. I think it really is an advantage. I watched this podcast called A.D.H Love, and it kind of was like, what inspired me to want to talk about our relationship and have this podcast because the Rich and Rox are the two people. They're British, but they have the situation where she has ADHD, and so they make funny videos about how he handles her having ADHD. And he is self-diagnosed as like maybe autistic, they don't really know, whatever, but the point is only one of them has the ADHD and struggles with that. So it's a strange situation for two people to have it to the extent that we have it, and be in a functioning relationship. And I think that there are probably more of us out there,
it's gotta be,
I'm sure, but it is it's a challenge in itself, just to be able to regulate yourself having neurodivergence, but then to have somebody else who also has it and fit that into your weird world, it's just like it's another challenge. It's just like on top of the other. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, it has been.
Yeah.
But I think we're doing good now.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It only took us 11 years. We got it there.
Yeah.
Got it down. But yeah, so okay, yeah, great.
Snacks are great.
Snacks are great.
I'm actually getting hungry.
Oh my god, yeah, me too.
Y'all are making me hungry.
So, well, good thing then this is my last bullet point here. All right, here we go. How has being diagnosed helped us understand each other and communicate better?
Well, I think we just talked about that.
I think so too. I think we kind of, doing a great job. I didn't even know that was the last question, but hey. Did you know? There's some kind of telekinesis.
Yeah, I'm hyper focused into the future.
Absolutely. I like that. Well,
talking to the microphone.
Hello. So, what else do you want to talk about before we wrap this up and potentially have next?
I just want to see what you guys want to talk about, mainly because we've kind of been mainly just talking with each other and ranting. And what do you guys think, man? What are your, are there any particular?
Well, first of all, is there anybody out there that is in a relationship with somebody else that is neurodivergent? Are you neurodivergent and then your partner is as well? That is something I'm interested in find out.
Kitty said that her husband had ADHD and so did she, and they were both diagnosed as adults.
Yeah. It's a strange thing, man. It's a strange thing.
So I want to talk with them too.
And I think it's becoming I don't know, it kind of gets put as like a phase or like a fad, that people want to be diagnosed with ADHD because more people are being diagnosed with it. But I think that COVID really gave people a lot of time to figure themselves out is what happened and watch all these videos about it and like really kind of self-diagnose and realize, yeah, maybe I have that. And
just like the internet, in general.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that you can condense like a diagnosis into a 15-second meme.
Sure.
Or video, and you might see that once, like whatever, shrug it off. But if you see it over and over and over in different things, and they keep all making sense.
Oh, that's me. Yeah.
You don't have to sit there and be that smart to kind of put the puzzle pieces together one at a time, and then after, you start to see a pattern. You're like, maybe there's something to this.
Yeah. I guess my point in saying that is that don't be afraid to reach out to somebody if you feel like you might have it and you are struggling because you think that other people will judge you. or you think that you're just being silly and it's just like a fad thing, because really it's a real issue. It's a real ADHD. It's a real it's a brain issue. I don't want to say disability, but it gives you a disadvantage in a world
just
of
a
people
condition.
that are neurotypical, you know?
It's just a condition. Yeah. The world isn't necessarily built for us, but that's kind of a good thing because, you know, we can improve it.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Why you hitting me?
I'm getting out of control with these pants.
As far as getting wild. I was getting wild with lines over here.
Well, I was going to say, if y'all are on Twitch, there's about a pretty good chance you have it already. I think Twitch kind of caters to that crowd. If you guys listen to this on YouTube, you know, it's way less likely. But if we're talking directly right now, you might. And you know, it's okay to get it looked at, man. It really is. I, you know, probably was hesitant to even think about things like that after, you know, medical things I'd been through, and then being addicted and getting unaddicted and having doctors never be able to solve any of my problems so far in life. Just kind of gave up, but
it is. It's frustrating, and sometimes you have to find the right one, and you have to go through several. But
I'm not saying that, like, you know, having a doctor and taking medicine solves the problem. I still struggle with certain aspects of having ADHD. You know, it's definitely not a cure-all and stuff, but
no, but it's a tool.
It is. It helps me do the stream.
Yeah.
Before, you know, you guys who've been around for a long time have probably watched the content change and develop and stuff. And I couldn't have done this shit a year ago.
No, definitely not.
It would have just been
definitely not.
more of a shit show, not
you
this
been
focused.
Over there playing your guitar.
Yeah.
I would have been yelling at you from behind the screen because the dogs are running around. You know,
well, they are doing that.
They are doing that, but yeah, we're just able to handle things better now. So, yeah, but I mean, I think we covered a lot of things for our first sit down talk podcast here.
Yeah, this is a good like overview, I feel like.
Yeah, and we'll get into things more in depth as we go along in the next few weeks, but yeah, I guess we just really wanted to put ourselves out there and just share some of the things, and that's just some of the things that we've gone through.
That's what I was talking about earlier, Six String, about like the hyper focus and how you can kind of like learn a lot of things and experience a lot of things, and
yeah,
that's neat. I know what you mean. She doesn't really have that. I have that.
No, for me, it's more like I want to do all the things. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So then I never end up doing anything, because if I can't do something perfect, then I'm not going to do it. So if I don't feel like I can do this perfect, then I'm not going to do it. So because I want to do this and this at the same time, I know I can't do things 100%, then I just end up not doing anything. It's frustrating, you know, it's something I struggle with for sure.
Yeah, it's hard for me sometimes to pick something and just do it. That's kind of been a theme lately, and, you know, been working on some of that. And I might have some announcements coming up soon regarding the future of the channel. And
Are you pregnant?
Yeah, it's not yours though.
That's the big reveal.
You don't have anyone? Well, now you do. Here
she is. Oh God,
is.
yeah. No, I think that's a big thing too. I think that males are more willing to put themselves out there for sure, and just, you know, open up and tell you whatever. They don't care. But it is absolutely harder for females, because we feel we tend to judge ourselves a lot more, you know, be more critical of ourselves. But if nobody else talks about it, then nobody else is gonna feel like they have somebody, like you're saying, you know. And there's a lot of us out there, but there's not a lot of people that are brave enough to lay it all out there. And you know, that's what we want to do for people, just so you realize that, you know, it's okay. You know, you're not crazy. If you're struggling, there are things to help, and it can get better. Because I know it can feel like a downward spiral, and sometimes it's hard to climb out, you know. So
for sure.
So yeah, absolutely. So that was it. We're gonna wrap up, because this little guy down here He wants his dinner. That's what he can't tell us. You hungry?
Oh, is it dog dinner time?
Yeah, he can't tell us he's hungry. So, Mommy's gonna feed the doggies, and we will see you guys next week. We are gonna do this Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna make that a thing, a regular thing. So,
is that weekly or bi-weekly?
that's weekly. We're gonna do it weekly because we're crazy like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So
we're gonna be busy. We have Tarot Tuesdays and A.D.H. Squirrel Wednesdays
Yes.
and Raw Thursdays.
Yeah, a lot going on, Chief.
Jesus.
Clear your schedule. Step up. Big guy panties on.
Hey, what you watching?
Oh, StreamerBot is open.
Nice. Great. So yeah, so thank you all for being here and for watching us rants for the past almost hour. We appreciate you very much, and we will be here next week. If there is anything, if you all are on the Discord, and there's anything that you do want us to talk about specifically, feel free to leave it in the main chat, and I will look.
Devonna, I'll make a channel for it.
Or that, yeah, or we'll make a channel and put it in there, and we're happy to talk about it. So
yeah, I think I want to make this as interactive as possible.
For sure.
And just, I think today we kind of talked about us a lot, but
yeah,
we want to talk about you guys too. That's what it's, all about. And,
absolutely.
I'm sure y'all have stories and stuff we'd love to hear.
Yeah.
So
and eventually,
I'll make a channel on Discord, and then, next, we'll, when we get more in depth too, I think that'll be a little more interactive, probably.
Yeah, and we will be having guests on eventually. We're just
Oh, we will.
Oh,
I don't
you
even
don't
know
even
what
know.
we're doing. This is really her thing. I'm just like, I'm
you're just
learning.
rolling with the punches.
I'm
over here,
learning
Sweet
with
Cheeks.
all
It's
of
gonna
you.
be okay.
Sweet cheeks. Wow.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, thanks guys. I'm gonna end it here and say that we appreciate y'all and we love y'all, and you're not alone. And A.D.H.
Kylo says hi. Show him the whoop.
Show the whoop.
Show him the whoop.
The whoop shows. Come here, whoop. Okay. This is this platform area. Oh.
You want me to get the butt?
Oh gosh. But okay. Okay. There's the whoop. Okay, say I'm hungry, people, and I want to have my whoop dinner. Okay. Okay.
His name's Kylo, but he's the whoop.
Hi, bud. Oh, he loves mommy very much.
His royal whoopness.
Yeah.
If you're not into the whole brevity thing.
And mommy loves him. He's hugging me right now. I love him so much. We love you so much. Dogs are awesome. Oh, okay.
He
He
said
no more. He said, get off of here
Yeah.
and feed me. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, I have to go.
He said no
I have to
pictures.
go.
No comment. No comment.
I have to go. Off with us now. Come on, Kylan.
All right, well, I'm going to smoke a bong because I have that now. Give him treats.
Give him treats.
Hang on. Give me a dog. Give me a dog. I know. I'm going to give him a treat. Give me a dog. This is a cool microphone. How's this one sound? This is the Samson. That's nice. It's a nice mic. Okay. Lucas, sit down. Good boy. Here you go. Oh, he missed. That's weird. Hank, can you beg? All right. Snoopy, can you beg? Good job. Kylo, here you go. Come get it. He can't beg, but... Oh, he caught that. Where's Griff? It didn't work? I don't know why. Oh, it's the sub command. I think. It should work. Guess not. The fuck? Oh, this isn't... Oh, I see the problem. I see what it is. StreamerBot isn't connected to Twitch. StreamerBot is not connected to Twitch. But it is a sub command. You think I'm cleaning up charts for free? Forget it. I love you guys, but, you know, gotta have healthy boundaries. Oh, well, I guess you wait on it to open. Okay. Let's see. I don't know, dude. Oh, okay. Everything's fucked, dude. I'm gonna actually just start doing this from a different... I think I'm gonna just use a whole different streaming software for the podcast going forward, but I didn't have a chance to set that up yet. I think I actually just thought of it this afternoon. Hey! You guys hear that? I did.